Have you ever wondered what lurks in the deepest, most hidden corners of the internet? We're not talking about your everyday browsing. We're diving into the deep web, and even further, into the notorious dark web. It's a part of the internet that search engines can't find, a place where anonymity is king. While it has legitimate uses, it's also infamous for its unsettling secrets and chilling mysteries. Today, we're unsealing the deep web files to explore some of the most haunting true stories and unexplained videos that have emerged from this digital abyss. So, turn down the lights and get ready. This is not for the faint of heart. Our first story takes us back to the early days of online forums, long before social media as we know it. A user, let's call him Alex, stumbled upon a strange, password-protected site linked from a deep web directory. He was a curious programmer and managed to bypass the initial security. What he found inside wasn't a marketplace or a political forum. It was a single web page with a live-streaming video feed. The feed showed a dimly lit room, empty except for a single wooden chair. There was a timer in the corner of the screen, counting down from 72 hours. Alex was intrigued and unsettled. He bookmarked the page and checked back periodically. For 2 days, nothing changed. The room remained empty, the chair sat silent, and the timer kept ticking down. He posted about it on a niche tech forum, and a small group of people joined him in watching this strange digital vigil. They speculated wildly. Was it an art project, a social experiment, or something far more sinister? As the timer neared its final hours, the tension was palpable. Then, with just an hour to go, the feed abruptly cut to black. The site went offline, and the domain was erased. Alex and the others were left with nothing but questions. To this day, the purpose of that room and that timer remains a complete mystery. What were they counting down to? We may never know. Now let's talk about a piece of media that has become a legend in online horror circles, a video file known only as Mariana Mordegard Glezgorv. The story goes that this short 20-second video clip appeared on a video-sharing platform, seemingly from the deep web. It featured a man staring intently into the camera against a strange, distorted background. There was no sound, just his unnerving, unblinking gaze. The legend claims that viewers who watched the full clip experienced intense psychological distress. They reported feelings of dread, anxiety, and seeing the man's face in their peripheral vision long after the video ended. The original video was supposedly taken down, but a doctored, shorter version Sivas later uploaded. This version shows the first 20 seconds, but just before it ends, the man's face supposedly twists into a disturbing grin. The truth behind the video is murky. Skeptics rightly dismiss it as a classic creepypasta, a fictional horror story created and spread online. They argue that the psychological effects are simply the power of suggestion. But the story's persistence is what's truly fascinating. It taps into our fear of the unknown, and the idea that simply viewing something online could have a real, tangible effect on our psyche. Whether it's a hoax or not, the legend of Mariana Mordegard Glezgorv is a chilling reminder of how easily fear can spread in the digital age. Our next file involves a phenomenon known as numbers stations. These are shortwave radio stations that broadcast mysterious coded messages, often in the form of a synthesized voice reading out streams of numbers or letters. While they predate the internet, their presence has been documented and archived on the deep web, where communities padrones to decipher them. One particularly eerie station, nicknamed the Lincolnshire Poacher, after the folk song it used as an interval signal, broadcast for years before suddenly going silent. One deep web user, an amateur radio enthusiast, claimed to have stumbled upon a directory of audio files that were recordings of a previously unknown number station. Unlike the others, this one didn't use a synthesized voice. It was a child's voice, calmly reading out strings of numbers. The audio quality was poor, filled with static, but the voice was clear and emotionless. The user shared a sample, and the community was baffled. The broadcast pattern didn't match any known intelligence agency's format. The use of a child's voice was deeply unsettling. Was it a code, a threat, a cry for help? Soon after the file was shared, the original poster's account was deleted, and the links to the audio went dead. The file's faders, leaving behind a haunting digital echo and another unsolved puzzle from the internet's shadows. Let's shift from audio to text. Imagine a blog, but not one you can find on Google. This blog, known in deep web forums as the Poughkeepsie Tapes, wasn't a blog in the traditional sense. It was a diary, supposedly written by an individual detailing their life as a mortician. At first, the entries were clinical and detached, describing the technical aspects of their work. They wrote about the chemical processes, the reconstruction technicas, and the daily routines of a funeral home. The writing was precise and professional. But as the entries progressed, the tone began to change. It became darker, more personal, and deeply disturbing. The author started describing Tatar experiments. They wrote about rearranging the bodies in poses, having one-sided conversations with them, and a growing detachment from the living. The entries became a chilling descent into a disturbed mind, blurring the line between professional duty and a morbid obsession. The blog was eventually discovered and reported, and it vanished from the web. Investigators were never able to verify its authenticity or trace its author. Was it a terrifyingly real confession, or a masterful work of horror fiction? The ambiguity is what makes it so terrifying. It's a stark reminder that behind the anonymity of the screen, you never truly know who is on the other side. Our final story is one of the most famous and debated deep web mysteries, the case of Sad Satan. In 2015, the owner of a popular YouTube channel focusing on horror games claimed to have downloaded a game from a deep web network. The game, titled Sad Satan, was unlike anything he'd ever played. It wasn't a game in the traditional sense. There were no goals or objectives. It was a nightmarish walking simulator. The player navigated a series of dark, maze-like corridors while being bombarded with distorted audio, cryptic messages, and deeply unsettling imagery. The audio included garbled recordings, and some claimed they could hear reversed clips of interviews with notorious criminals. The visuals were equally disturbing, featuring flashing black and white photos and strange, shadowy figures that would appear and disappear. The YouTuber documented his playthrough, but he stopped after the game allegedly started creating text files on his computer desktop with threatening messages. The story exploded online. Many tried to find the original version of the game, but it proved impossible. Several versions appeared, but they were all fakes, often loaded with malware. Experts now believe the entire thing may have been an elaborate hoax, a transmedia horror story created by the YouTuber himself. But the impact was real. Sad Satan became a legend, a cautionary tale about downloading unknown files from the internet's unregulated depths. It showed how a well-crafted story could blur the lines between a game and reality, creating a genuine sense of fear and paranoia. These stories, from the countdown in an empty room to the haunted game of Sad Satan, are just a glimpse into the unsettling folklore of the deep web. They are modern-day campfire tales, born in the darkest corners of our digital world. While many can be explained as hoaxes, creepypastas, or social experiments, they all prey on a fundamental human fear, the fear of the unknown. The deep web is a vast, uncharted territory, and in that anonymity, our darkest imaginations can run wild. It reminds us that even in our hyper-connected world, there are still shadows where mysteries thrive, and some questions are best left unanswered. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the web's hidden files. It's a strange world out there, so be careful what you click on. If you found these stories as fascinating and chilling as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the unknown. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Stay safe, and see you in the next video.